hand it over to you, Ori. Good luck.
In conclusion, that's just how I start meetings when we are 1 second late. I'm joking. Matt and team, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to speak here. I will tell you, I speak in many places, but this group, let me tell you, I don't care what's your next topic, invite me. I just want to listen because, man, the energy here and the people and the waking up early and the wow, I just love this group. We can read the phone book and it will be interesting here. So, uh, to reiterate what Matt said, my name is Ori Eisen. I've been in the security space for over 22 years. I had the fortune to be spotted by one Frank Abagnale, who's the man that the movie Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio is made on. Some fun trivia. This is the only movie Steven Spielberg made about a living person. And if I speak in half speed, it's just because I didn't have coffee yet. It will arrive soon in my time zone. But by the time we're done here, you'll really hear my real speaking speed. I can just hear myself speaking. I'm like, wow, who is speaking? Frank and I met while I was the head of risk at American Express. This was many moons ago. And basically was so enthralled with the technology I developed back then, said something like, hey, kid, if you leave your day job, I'll help you. And how many people have told you in your life, I'll help you, or let's do lunch, or any of these things that are like very non-committal? I will say this, Frank, to this day, this is our second company together. We just celebrated 20 years working together, educating people, flying around the world, and making sure nothing bad happens. And I will just take a quick pause because my coffee just arrived and you want me to have my coffee. Let me just say that. So cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
Is no Kahlua in there, I promise.
Yet.
As long as there's caffeine, we'll be fine. I don't know what I'll need to do this weekend to pay for this coffee, but whatever it is, I'll take. So the reason I work with Frank is very simple. Us people who grew up in good homes in Western culture, we do not think like criminals. It's just we're not born to do that. We didn't have the life struggles that he had of, running away from home and having to feed himself. I could develop any system, and I'm about to show you one, and I think it's very secure and very good, but it's not until he sees it and plays chess and says, well, I could just do this, and everything falls down. And then I take it back to the lab and say to the team, guys, yeah, we thought that this was good, but in 2 sentences, Frank said he can break it this way. And they're like, oh my God, how did he think about that? I'm like, that's all he think about. This is why we have him as an advisor. So I'm about to show you the system, how it's used, and then I'll show you at least one of those things of how a Frank Abagnale would undo or append the whole system and show you how we even solve for that, because that's why people work with our company. It's not because we have engineers. Everybody has engineers, but engineers who went to school did not think like Frank Abagnale does, or Kevin Mitnick, who is now unfortunately passed away, who's also an advisor, people like Chris Roberts, who's known to have taken over a Southwest airline flight from his laptop in the back. These people are just thinking differently than us. And I am proud to say that I employ any one of them who will want to come and beat our system so they can teach us how to be better against the real bad guy. So with that, I never do presentations, but I decided today, Matt and team, just to give you some context. And then I'm going to choose Matt, unless one of you wants to raise their hand, as my demo buddy, that you'll see that everything you're about to see is real. It's not magic. There's nothing canned. It's going to be a real live demo that you're about to see. Okay? So just to give you some context of what Trusona does and what I do every day, today we're going to show you a solution that was invented about 16 months ago in response to the MGM hack. Let me explain if you're not familiar with it. Imagine one phone call to the IT help desk to one of the largest resorts in Vegas. And the person on the phone says, hey, my name is so-and-so and I work here. Could you please help me reset my password? And all the tooling MGM, and again, I'm not singling them out. Every single company in the world has the same exact issue. Basically, they believe the caller and allow the password reset, which sounds innocuous, right? But just imagine you come to work and someone else reset your password, which means what? You can't get into your account, but the other person can. And once they were in the account, they started installing things they shouldn't have in their networks, brought down the whole resort for 4 days. So that alone caused a loss of $150 million to the company. And when I say shut down the resort, it's including the cards to get into the room, right? Everything is computerized today. I can tell you now, about a year and a half later, they just finished the lawsuit of the customers, which was another $50 million in damages. So all this to say, one phone call to the IT help desk has cost this company $200 million in damages and then some. So what I'm about to show you is what we do to absolutely positively know who the heck is calling your IT help desk or the HR department or the finance department or your title company or escrow company before they move money or do anything serious. Because in today's day and age, every 11-year-old can just go online, play with AI tools that generate videos and fake stuff. And God help us, it's so easy to do. And I'm going to take a swig of the coffee as we go. So Trusona is not a set of jumbled up letters. It is a fusion of true and persona. That is what we're here to do. We were founded on a simple premise by using people like Frank Abagnale to ask, what is the problem on the internet that we need to solve? And the poster child is on the right. It's a cartoon that is unfortunately now close to 30 years old. And we have still not finished fixing this problem. And what we want to do with what we're about to show you is provide the same level of assurance that it is you, even though you're online. It's just so hard to do now with the advent of Gen AI deepfakes. So if you've ever went to the post office and you shipped a package, does it matter what's inside? Does it matter if you're shipping some pencils or diamonds? Yes, it does. Because if you lose a few pencils, you don't care. If you lose a few diamonds, you might care. So the post office is offering you some ideas of here's how you can ship something and have some peace of mind, right? For extra charge. Think about what I'm about to show you as the same thing. You just got a phone call into the IT help desk. Does it matter if they're asking you how to fix the printer or to reset the password? Yes, it does. If somebody's just asking how to operate the printer, you don't even need to do authentication to a high level. You just need to verify that they work here. But if somebody wants to reset their MFA, reset their password, get privileged access, man, you really need to know who's on the other end. Last slide, and then we'll start with the demo. These are the headlines, guys. You can just Google them and see what is happening out there. The word social engineering should jump to the top of your mind. Criminals simply call the help desk and pretend to be somebody who works here and then take the whole company down. So that is what we're about to demonstrate. Matt, are you ready and willing to help me out?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everything I tell Matt to do, you can do later. Don't do it now. Now I just want you to observe it. But every single thing he does, you can do later on your own. Let's do it. Open a new browser and share it with everybody here in the room.
Oh, you want to share? You want me to share my screen?
Yeah,
On
just
my computer.
on your computer. Just open a
Okay.
new browser that you're not using. We don't want to see any of the solitaire games or anything like that. Just a new browser, and I'll give you exact instructions. I've done this call over 500 times. That's why I was okay doing it at 7 a.m. I'm still not okay, but I'm okay. And if it sounds like I know it by heart, it's because I know it by heart. Here we go. Go to trusona.com, Trusona. On the upper right corner, there's a Try Now tab. Click that. And this is the doorstep to our production site. Just give it any email you can quickly check, Matt. Could be personal email or work. and just wait for us to send you instantaneously a one-time number to there. So click continue. Once you bring the number, yeah, and you can check it on your phone. That's fine if you
Oh,
want.
okay, I'll do that.
You can do that. And the
Gonna
reason I
say,
have you
we
do the
don't need
demo
to
is,
see your email list.
Anybody want to see my
well,
email?
I saved him from that. But the reason I'm asking Matt to do all this is that I will be the guinea pig and not him. I have here my driver licenses and everything, so I'll do the scary stuff. Go ahead, Matt. Just hit continue.
So
And
I've
you
already
should-
done MFA, right? This is already
That's it.
multi-factor.
Very good. The 6-digit code proved to us that you have access to that email box, and here we are. Watch. The yellow bar tells you how many free transactions you have as soon as you created an account, which you just did. Every month we give 6 free transactions because most people think what you're about to see is magic. It is not magic. You're about to, it just works, but it's a thing that never existed before. On the right, there's a link to a video in case you forget anything I said in this meeting. So it's almost like a little tutorial, but you'll see you don't even need that because it's so simple to use. Let's do this. Here's demo number 1. Matt, you will play the IT help desk agent, and I will play the caller, and I
Okay.
will say these words. Hi, Matt. My name is Ori Eisen. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. It is 7:18 in the morning here. I'm new to the company, but my boss said that I need access to all of our secret stuff. So come on, give me access. That's what
Okay.
these calls sounds like, guys. It's like a person calls and tells you, I work here, believe me, let me in. I'm like, okay, whoa, how do I know? Here's how Matt would know. The first instruction is to ask the caller to get their ID. So here, I got my ID. Then he's going to tell me that none of my personally identifiable information will be stored because we don't store it. Then I could have different kinds of IDs, like a passport or a UK driver license, or we have 2,500 options here, but for this demo, the defaults work in every country. So leave it on US or Canadian driver license. And for the first demo, I'll ask him to notify me via SMS. So he would click on this button, just like that. In a live environment, the numbers he could actually type could be limited by the CISO to only people who work here. But for today's demo, I'm just going to give Matt the number. And I promise I didn't pay him $20 to do this. Here's the number, Matt, 602 206 6052. Now, don't click send yet. Just wait right there. I want you guys to see that the moment he will hit send, the system would look like it's pausing because the first check we do is we would ping the carrier, which is Verizon, for my number to ask the first question. Is this phone number, is this device recently SIM swapped? What does that mean? If a hacker wanted to take over my life, the first thing they would do is go to my telephone company to convince them that it's me. They will say to the phone company, hey, I just got this new iPhone. Could you please port my number? Why? So this text that is about to be sent will be sent to them, not to me. That's what SIM swap is all about. And it's a very good trick hackers use to take over people's bank accounts, and everywhere else you use SMS OTP. So now I'll ask Matt to click, and God help me, I hope that it will not say that it's SIM swap. It did not. Very good. And I should be getting here a text message to let me know that this is coming in. Let me read it to you. Here's the message I just got. It says, this is your identity verification link from Trusona because it's our demo. If this was Sony, it would say this is the link from Sony because we would change that for the company. If you did not expect this link, do not click it. I am expecting it because we're doing this verification. So everybody watch my hands. All I'm doing is I'm touching the link he sent me and it will open in a browser. Everybody can see that? I'm now going to move my phone so you can see what is Matt getting the moment I load this page. You can scroll down and see that we have rendered a map of where I'm sitting in Scottsdale, Arizona to reaffirm what I said. And right above the map, you can see, yeah, you can play with it, but right above the map, there's some device intelligence. We just interrogated my browser to ask, what language are you configured in? Not Ori, my device is answering. What time zone is your time? Which says Phoenix. What time is it there? Look at that, 7 o'clock. I've never seen me do a demo at 7 a.m. in the morning. The point is, this gives Matt some idea that I'm not calling him from Russia. It could still be faked and spoofed. We know all that. But for the most part, he can continue the call. So good?
Ori, you're not hearing any sirens at the moment coming towards you right now.
I'm on mute. That's why you guys can't hear. I hear them. You can. No, that's a good one. Good one. So let me show you part two. I'm now going to scan my driver license, but I want you to see something. Remember, I told you I work with Frank Abagnale? This is what he would do. I have two. This is smiley face from my wallet. This is frowny face. It is also a document made by the state. It's not some fake or copy or clone or counterfeit. It's real. It's just old. It has an older issue date. So for our demo, Matt gets to pick which one should I use, frowny or smiley?
I think frowny. I want to see it fail.
Good. Here's my phone. Let me click continue. There's nothing for me to download. I simply open camera access to the browser. Here is frowny. I'm going to put it right here so you can see what I'm doing. It scans in less than a second. And Matt, you don't even need to do anything. The screen will just repaint itself and show you how we're going live. You can scroll up to the DMV and ask him line by line, is the first name matching? Is the last name matching? Is every single field, everything except for one thing matches, the issue date. Everybody can see that? We are the first software company to do this. The second column, the MNO for mobile network operator, is a second call we made to Verizon. Not about is the phone SIM swapped. We did that already. This one is a KYC check to say, do you have this information of the identity on the left matching whoever owns this phone and paid the bill for it? And they're saying, yeah, for this phone number that Matt texted, Ori Eisen with this date of birth at this address, that's what we have. And now he has two different authoritative sources telling him it's me. We know the issue date is the only thing that, by the way, we would still let you know you can pass this through because it is a good license, just old. It is not high risk. You can continue. That's the first demo. Let me show you the second one. Scroll all the way up, Matt.
All the way up.
And please click plus new right there to start a new Trusonification. And in this demo, I want you all to pay attention really, really carefully because this is how Frank Abagnale would try to beat it. You can hit hit cancel, just follow my direction. Later on, we're leaving you with this. You can do whatever you want. I want you to follow this script exactly. I am about to have Matt try to commit a crime with a methodology called man-in-the-middle attack. Let me show you how this works, just so you understand how hackers think about this and show you how we would foil it. Matt, in this demo, you will try to drain my bank account. I will also not use frowny, I will use smiley, just to show you guys that even if I have the real deal, this crime could be foiled. Watch. You would call Charles Schwab, my bank, and say, hi, this is Ori Eisen from Scottsdale. I don't like your services anymore. I want to shut down my account and wire all of its money to another place. Okay. Somebody at Charles Schwab will say, Ori, your voice sounds a little bit different today, but hey, let's verify your identity. So somebody at the bank would want to send Matt the link. So the way to do that, Matt, is click copy Trusonify link, the third one. Now it's in your memory. And I want you to open another tab, just like you did before for the Gmail, exactly like that, and hit paste because the link is already in memory. And try to use it, and you'll see it will not work for you. This link only works on mobile devices. So if you still want to drain my bank, take out your phone, thank you, like you do. Try to scan this. It will take you exactly to the page I was before. We don't need you to scan anything, Matt, because you simply don't have my ID, right?
Yeah.
But let the audience know, did you get to the page that says, please scan your ID?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Does everybody agree he doesn't have my ID? Excellent. This is what Frank Abagnale would do. He would tell the bank, my baby is crying, my dog is barking, Amazon is knocking at my door. Any excuse to put the bank on mute, and Matt from another phone would call me, the victim, and say, hi, Ori, this is Matt from Charles Schwab. I have some terrible news to share with you about fraud in your account. However, before I tell you anything, I'm going to send you a URL that will have schwab.com in it. Please scan your ID to prove to me that you're you, and then I'll tell you the bad news. Get it?
Yeah.
He is a man in the middle. He cannot scan, but he can puppeteer me to do it. And here I have the real ID that he needs. So let's do it, Matt. Refresh the page you're on, reload it, and I will fall for the ruse because I'm really scared right now about fraud in my account. So I will take my phone, I will scan this QR, or he could have texted it to me or email. It doesn't matter, guys. It's just a URL. So now Matt and I are on the same page. Everybody can see that? Let me continue because I do have my ID. Here is smiley face from my wallet. I'm simply going to put it in front of the phone. It's going to scan in less than a second. And some of you are probably wondering, why are we here watching this? Because Matt just beat it. The only thing he needed to do is tell the victim to do it for him. Guys, most systems would be foiled just like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask now Matt to go back to our tool, one tab to the left, and scroll all the way down to the map. And tell us what you see.
Oh yeah. I see two links. One one right where I live and one where you supposedly live.
Yeah. Now the house icon we got because my driver license has my home address. Get it?
Mm.
If you scroll all the way up now, Matt, there will be a red, yellow, green thing on the very top on the right, overall risk. You see that it's in high risk. And if you click the words high risk, it will tell you why. So click on it once, and you'll see that our system is saying more than one device loaded the link, possible man in the middle. This is why this tool is very difficult to beat. All the other things on the map that you saw there have no risk to us. They're just benign robots like VPNs and the fact that he scanned the thing and moved the link from his screen to the phone. All these things are okay with us. It doesn't change if you're Ori or not. But passing the link to somebody else is clearly telling us there's another person on this call and potentially it's not you. The end. This is what we do for a living. Now I will be quiet and take all your calls and go through scenarios, but you can all play with this tool after this meeting.
What would you
Go
do?
ahead.
Yeah, what would the help desk person do if they had this high risk?
Wow, great question. So basically, you'd first begin, John, by not giving them access, escalating. There are different protocols that we help provide, or the system has today before we show up, of further validation of information about what was your hire date, who do you sit next to, mother's maiden name, all kinds of things that could be in the HR system that on a typical day could be stolen and you don't want to use them on their own. Another way to further overcome this is to say, hey, do you have your passport with you? Like any other form of ID. And basically you can see how the call gets frazzled. I can tell you from experience of working in American Express and other places, any call to the call center that is put on mute for more than a few seconds is super, super, super suspicious for any reason. Because you are now calling them, right? So you should not be busy with other things. Now, of course, there's the occasional I'm giving you these excuses because those are real excuses of real people. That's why hackers use them. But for the most part, you would not proceed, escalate it to a manager and take it from there. But the most important thing is not to fall for it.
We've got a question in chat. What would you do if people don't have mobile phones?
Great question. So there are This solution specifically, because it's meant for very risky things, is aimed at knowledge workers. So far, that has not been an issue. We do have companies like trucking companies and others that they have people in the field and they still need to verify them. What we would do then is either use a laptop or an iPad or something that belongs to the company. And the way we would filter it is by the IP address. So something that came from the company's network would have higher level of assurance than some random IP from a coffee shop. But for the most part, this is meant for people who do have phones and can just verify their ID.
Yeah, you can see
Thank
how
you,
like
Ori.
you really want to validate
Yeah.
the executives. So your executives should at least have mobile
Yeah,
phones.
and just to be clear, it's the knowledge workers, anybody
Yeah.
that works with the phone. Let me answer the next question about the coverage. I'm gonna switch share. Matt, thank you. You've been an
Yep.
amazing demo buddy. I really appreciate that. Let me show you the coverage. The way we're thinking about this is think about a plane that goes from New York to London. Everybody's going to reach London, just not in the same level of comfort. We can do what you saw everywhere in the world, but you might be sitting in a coach, as in like not everything is available worldwide. So the device intelligence we can do everywhere. The man in the middle detection we can do anywhere. Scanning of a document we can do anywhere. We over 2,500 documents we can populate. The last bit, which is the gold standard where you have an authoritative source to say, do we have it or not, is simply not available anywhere. So let me show you what that looks like. So from a map of the world, everywhere we can do the first few things. In the United States, we can take licenses, permits, and ID cards. Not everybody is a driver, but we can still verify them. And you can see it took us 8 years to get here to 40 of the states. Not every state allows to be pinged. Again, there's some political reasons for that, and others, it's not a technical issue. So in the darker green states, we can ping live like you just saw in Arizona. In the light green state, what we do is we still ask you to scan the back because there's some magic here that we know if you faked it or not. And then we match the identity to the MNO, to the mobile network operator, just like you saw in the second column. So that gives us coverage in every state, but again, not the same quality just because it doesn't exist. In Canada, we still scan the back of the driver license and use the telephones. The Canadian system is connected to the American system. It's just that they have never loaded their data. And when you zoom out per country, we have different coverage for the KYC, meaning how to know who owns this phone, and a different set of countries for the SIM swap. So every time you load a document with a locale, our systems knows what we can and cannot do to go fetch the best information possible. But in the US, in countries that are dark green, you get the gold standard. That no one has been able to beat it so far. Okay, let me go back to the chat. 1 second, you guys, give me a second. Service desk, typically video conference. Okay, I'm just going back in time. I see some people commented. So if you don't mind, I want this to be as conversation as possible. So I see Bert Cohen. Hi, 731. I totally get the notion that people are giving their IT help desk a video chat like this because the hope is that you can't beat it and it's pretty good. I will say it's better than nothing. I don't want to say anything other than, let me show you what already has transpired. Does anybody know about the Hong Kong case? Let me just show you. If you're dealing with a nation state, and again, I don't know who's attacking you, but I want you to see the finance worker. Here is a video call with a CFO of a company. The trick was this. In a call like this, when you have a lot of people, imagine that I'm only the one that is moving and I'm animated and you're listening to me, and the rest of you are just videos. You're not really there. And what happened on that call is a setup like that convinced the CFO that they're in a real call because everything was deep faked because they had the faces and everything else of the executives. and convince the person to move $25 million. So all I'm saying is, if the target is big enough, do not kid yourself. Let me take you for a second to the underground to show you what is being sold today as we speak, just so you understand the level of sophistication that is out there. Watch. I'll start by showing you, and Matt, you'll just tell me when we're out of time, but I'm a bit passionate about this, if you can tell. This is a sample from the underground of what a California driver license made by Gen AI would look like. And I can show you this on a video call. Guys, it is perfect from a size, design, font. Everything here is perfect. But if you would ask the California DMV, do you guys have this in your records? They would say, we have never issued this because the numbers here are just made up. They're not real. This is the level of sophistication. Let me show you one more example. I'll take you here just to show you that story with the video call. So don't get me wrong, use a video call because it's better than nothing. Don't get me wrong. But unfortunately today, and I'll show you some examples, you now have people who are fooled on video calls because the other faces are also deepfaked. And now I'll show you the third example. I want you to tell me if you think if this is real or not. You can now buy 10 seconds videos if you counted a bank that wants to see a liveness test. Okay, let me play this for you and you be the own judge. Tell me what you think. It's not moving yet.
Yeah, it's just a streaming thing, Ori.
Yeah, no, I don't see her moving either. So let me reload this page.
No, it's got the circle of doom, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I see too. Let me just reload this. Usually it just auto starts. I typically don't need to tell it to. Let me just try this one more time. Okay, let me try this one more time. If not, I'll just put it in link. Here we go, guys. What do you think?
Looks real to me.
The fact that you're thinking is the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
We
just
can't trust our
difficult,
eyes.
guys. It's difficult. And these things will only get better, unfortunately. Okay, I'm going to move down the
If
questions.
you hadn't said to look at it and think about it, we probably wouldn't have.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going down. Andrew, you're looking at the risk from AI-generated face matching and video calls these days. Andrew, thank you. I didn't, I'm just reading it in order. So Andrew already shared what I said. A lot of ideas, we talked about that. What about facial or voice recognition given AI ability? Okay, so I'm going to be very careful with what I said. I used to work in call centers. I know how companies that use the method of my voice is my password. I know all about that. Let me tell you about the differences between that and what I showed you. If you recall the cartoons with the two dogs, that is the problem. When someone calls the bank for the very first time and says, I'm Ori Eisen, you can start templatizing the voice for biometrics, but what don't you know for sure? Who is on the other end? You want to believe that it's me, but you could be templatizing the bad guy who tells you it's me. So as you can see, it's a recursive problem. It's not a technological problem. The second issue is this. My employees decided to pull a prank on me because I do a lot of these presentations. They sampled some of my voice from past presentations and created this. Ready? Now that you've heard me for 41 minutes, listen to this. What you're about to hear is not me. Watch, or listen rather. Hi, I'm Ori Eisen, CEO of Trusona. I'm calling to follow up on an email I sent about ATO Protect, which thwarts social engineering by cyber gangs like Scattered Spider, who use Gen AI to impersonate your employees and executives to gain network access. This voicemail is actually generated by Gen AI. Could you tell? I'd love the opportunity to showcase ATO Protect. It only takes, guys, it will only get better. So my point is, you can totally, I'm sure you've seen these fun, silly videos of AI on the internet that people think they're like haha silly, but in the wrong hands, they will not be haha silly. They will be very serious. Let me give you one example from a live customers we have. It's a large airline on the East Coast. On our first call demonstrating this, they've played a recording to us from their help desk with the voice of the CEO of the company, berating the IT help desk. You need to help me now. I'm in the middle of this important meeting. And the employee had to make a decision. Do I do the wrong thing or do I get fired? When they replayed this call to the CEO, that person could not tell if it's them or not. As in, they know their own voice and they said, this is so perfect, I would not know. This is the state of the union. So every biometrics, if it can be replayed or generated by the Gen AI that is good enough, unfortunately may fool some systems. Okay, I'm moving on. Louisiana, I can't help you there until they go live. France, yep, okay. What was the website that we started with again? Trusona.com. Thank you, thank you. Can we get a copy of this PDF? Yeah, it's $250,000 and you can pay it in installments. I'll send a copy to Matt, and just on a need to know basis, we just don't want this to leak to the bad guys. You don't want to advertise your blueprints. I think this is a trusty bunch. Is that true, Matt?
I think
I
so.
mean, you can go like this. It's fine. I get the sign language.
Oh, we're all deep fakes.
Right. Can we get a copy? I can connect with Ori. Yep. Would I like to arrange an in-house demo? Sure. You can all contact me. Let me put my email here on the bottom. Don't laugh. We were a small company without a lot of money. I could only afford one character here. So it's o@trusona.com. Let me just see if I missed anything else. And I got a block domain using, yeah, we, on our domain, we are trying to filter out just the wannabes. So either use something like Gmail or your corporate network, because otherwise we're opening this tool up to all kinds of script kiddies. Look, it's a real thing. These are kids who are just trying to hack. So for that reason, we're not allowing every domain. 1 second, I'm trying to see, Matt, that I didn't miss anything. 1 second. And if I do, just to remind me while I'm still here. Love to send this to the CISO, in-house demo, Discord. Okay, we're recording. We can share it on Discord. Okay, almost want to try this with my... Yeah, so would you like me to scan my US passport in front of you? Was that a thing you want to see? We can do
Sorry,
that.
I meant my US passport being in
No, no.
Australia.
So you do it. It will work. It's not a problem as long as it's a good passport.
Hmm.
Yes. Keanu Reeves taught me this. Okay, that's funny. I tried to sign in Outlook. We talked about that. AI can create video from a single still. Very good. So Andrew Melder, very good. Brownie point. Today, guys, for nostalgia and all kinds of reasons, you can load a picture of your parents from 19 ba 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 boom. And from that one still picture, you can start animating and wow, it just looks amazing. And remember, these things will only get smoother and better. Today, you can kind of see that people have 6 fingers and all kinds of web hands. And don't ask me, there's some things that if you really pay attention, you can tell, but it will only get better. Okay, is someone with hundreds of hours of video on the internet? Yeah, I want all my vendors to use Trusona. Thank you.
I think that ends the questions. I don't think that does anyone have any more questions? Raise your hand or do a reaction or come off mute. Bert, go ahead.
Bert, go ahead.
So one of the things that we're trying to do is automate as many processes as possible, especially at the tier 0, tier 1 level.
Yes.
Are you looking at ways that agentic AI can interact with Trusona.com in the place of a human to kind of verify these checks automatically?
Yes, so we do have an API. Many people want to just connect this to their IVR and not have any human involved. So the answer is yes. It doesn't have to be a AI agent, but it could be invoked even by the ITSM system. The only difference, Bert, is as you saw the attack unfold with man in the middle, you send the link to person A, some time passes, and then it goes to certain B. It may be that you will not see all of that in real time. That's why a human is good for some things, but for the most part, yes, you can automate this. We're doing it already for some people when they understand what are the risk rewards. I know that people don't want to pay for every call with humans. I totally understand that, and there are things you can automate, but there's always an equation of risk versus reward. Okay, Matt, I don't know how the schedule is. Should I leave this room so you guys can caucus and chat, or should I stay?
You are welcome to stay. Like you said, we could read the dictionary and it would be interesting. So you're welcome to stay. What we do usually is we do QA for a little bit and then we do a social time. But for right now, before anyone else leaves, because Julia had to leave, we usually take a screenshot of everyone that's here. I realize the problem of doing that on a security call right now is really
It's okay.
But if
As
you
long
want
as
to
my IDs are not in the picture, go ahead.
yeah,
Time
exactly.
to get your
Everyone
vote on, Ori.
hide your licenses.
I
But
try
if
to
you-
get everyone in a smile. So
Yeah, and if you-
go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
If you want to come off video mute, now is the time. If you want to be included
Okay.
in the screenshot, and if you don't want to be included, by all means, continue to protect your privacy.
Oh, that's the
Be
very
respectful.
first time it said page 1 of 2, and I had to expand my screen.
Oh, I love it.
Go
Yes.
us. All right. Everyone ready? In 3, everyone smile. 3, 2, 1.
Say whiskey.
And wine.
Got it.
Say Kalua.
And bubbles.
Say Kahlua,
Kahlua.
exactly. Oh, Ori, I do want to take a moment to just thank you for doing this. It is quite an impressive tool, and I love that you guys have thought about so many angles on it. I'm really happy that you could make some time today to do the demo and geek out with us.
Sounds good. I'm going to go on mute.